Kubrick had died, and they came out with that DVD set with the making of The Shining, which you could not find anywhere. And we watched, I think, 3 times in a row because we could not believe there was Stanley Kubrick. And the first time you see him, you're just following Jack Nicholson through the Overlook set. And then it arrives at this big burly guy in a coat who's balding with the big glasses and a giant beard. And that's Kubrick. And up until that moment, I thought he was British. He starts talking like this, and he's like, all right, Shelley, what we have to do here is we have to get you over to the...
Shelley, I'm telling you, it's too many times. Every time he speaks emphatically, you're jumping, and it looks funny.
There's one point where he's like, I think they should play in a wide shot considering the situation. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. He's from the Bronx. I went, oh my God, he's just like a guy from the Bronx who makes these really insane experiences. I remember there's that story. I think Steven Spielberg asked Kubrick, have you heard this? Like that he didn't, Kubrick asked Steven Spielberg, did you like The Shining? And at the time, Spielberg said, not really. And he said, why? And he's like, oh, I just thought Jack Nicholson was really big. And Kubrick said, okay, name your 5 favorite actors. And Steven Spielberg, I think, said like Jimmy Stewart, Spencer Tracy, Henry Fonda, Clark Gable, Robert Montgomery or something.
Right.
And he went, okay, stop. In that list, you did not mention James Cagney. James Cagney is my all-time favorite actor, and that's why Jack Nicholson is great in The Shining.
That's a great story.
I thought that was a great story that he shared because you go, oh, he likes that. You know, he wants someone who pops. I love some of Stanley Kubrick's movies, but I remember being I'm still a film geek, but in my 20s, this really romanticized version of these directors, and you would hear, Stanley Kubrick did 150 takes of Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson on the stairs.
Yep.
And The Shining, I'm going to bash your brains in that scene because he wanted to get Shelley Duvall to this real sense of hysteria and all this. And, we thought that was so cool, and that was being an artist and why it was so great. And then you start doing this as a job. And I've now, I've been in horror movies, I've been in dramas, comedies, everything. And I've seen people do, and I've seen Shelley Duvall in other movies do just that, and I bet it was 5 takes. It's called acting.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's not Kubrick. That's his ego. That's his. Yeah. I need that process. That's all about ego and stuff. And when people, it's bad when people you start hearing about their process and you know more about the process or remember the process more than the work. You know what I mean? And so in acting, directing, writing, you always hear that stuff. So it is funny. I just don't understand as I get older and as you start doing it, you'll see a great actor do something very similar like that. And Shelley Duvall, those Robert Altman movies, 3 Women. I'm a great actor. Yeah. And so I never really, to me, that was more like, again, it's like ego. But that said, I watched The Shining with my oldest daughter not too long ago, and I still enjoyed it. But I was like, I just don't want to be on that set.
Well, he's just different because I can imagine people saying to Kubrick, you're not really letting us into Jack as a human being. And then Kubrick just said, get away from me. Get away from me.
Yeah.
People must have said it to him. Like, we're not, the wife is strange. What you're asking Shelley to do, by the way, her hair is falling out because she's losing her mind playing this woman.
Yeah.
Because it's not a person, it's not a human being.
Badly.
And he said, do me a favor, Dorothy, get the fuck away, get in the other room. Whoever said this to him, he said, just get the fuck away from me. I'm doing this. You go do that in another movie. Well, and in fact, they did. Stephen King made it again. Who gives a shit what Stephen King thinks of The Shining? The Shining has nothing to do with Stephen King, who I think is a really cool writer. It's a whole other category. But Kubrick takes whatever fucking thing. He's like, here's a New York Times magazine, this article. I'm going to make a movie about it. And he just makes it. He decides, I'm not doing the thing that you want me to do. I'm not doing a father who changes. Don't. It's boring. It's done. It's been done 1,000 times. So what? It's a very good way to make a movie. Go watch one. There's many. He's like, I'm making the movie from the point of view of the house and from the point of view of The Shining. That's the main character is fucking horrible, strange, mysterious, knowing too much, chilling, Shining. Shining is the main character. Jack's not the main character, and neither is she. She is annoying. Like, you want her to fucking
die.
Get the hatchet to the head. Well, what do you? It's not supposed to be a horror movie.
Well,
it's not. There is no prescription that movie fills. You don't get a prescription that you go here and they go, oh no, we don't have Friday the 13th. We'll give you the shine. It's not. It's not a generic for Friday, like when you go to get Prozac and it's really Lexamil or whatever the fuck. This is from an abstract point of view of fear. The movie's point of view is fear, or whatever the fuck. I can't put it to words because it's just suggested. It's who's following the kid when he's in the fucking tricycle. That's not even from the kid's point of view. It's from the point of view of this fucking presence and the poster of the naked lady behind Scatman Crothers. This is Stanley Kubrick's idea of what a black man's Florida apartment is like. I'm so much more interested in his bent ideas than I am in someone who's like, no, I'll show you what this would be like, and I'll give you these feelings, manufacturing feelings. And by the way, I'm not putting down that kind of filmmaking. Some of my favorite movies, Goodfellas, a lot of my favorite movies are totally reliable structures, and you can see how they work. But he was doing something else. I do think that Nicholson is fucked up. I think that Kubrick thought it was more interesting to make a movie where, by the way, the whole world is a little strange. The fucking doctor who interviews Danny after he passes out is weird. And then the mother with the fucking cigarette with the ash.
Everyone's weirdly
dropped.
Yeah.
Right.
It's insane. And the fucking guy with the giant hair who interviews him and the way they walk through the place, and it's so fucked up. There's barely a difference between the people that actually work in the hotel and Floyd and fucking, and the ghosts. But that's where the place is like sucking people in. I mean, the ghost, it's the building's point of view. The building reaches out to Scatman Crothers across and makes him come from all the way from Florida. That's not your basic horror movie stuff. His movies are not about human beings.
He's not a humanist.
They're about ideas.
Yes. Exactly.
Even Barry Lyndon, which is named after a guy, it's not about Barry Lyndon. It's a strange movie about human failure and the loserdom and like the loathsomeness of human beings. There is a stilted, ugly feeling in that room that is familiar to my generation in terms of domestic dialogue. There is a fucking distance and an ugliness that I feel. The other thing about Nicholson in this movie is that this movie was just so iconic in his acting, that in that character that he created, that he messed up the rest of history, the future for itself. It's a movie that you saw when it came out and you're like, what is this? This is crazy the way he's acting. That was the feeling in the 70s of couples that were a little bit strangers to each other and men that were a little dangerous. It's coming from somebody's gut who was a little bit not sane.
In Stir of Echoes, there's, the boy can also, like, he channels the girl's voice, like they have the small boy, and the boy's, like, sort of reserved or whatever. And then, like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, seems like it's, like, a homage to The Shining, I guess, like the dad's going crazier and crazier, and, like, the wife doesn't really know how to handle it. But then also there's, at one point they go for a walk through the cemetery, the mom and the boy, and there's, like, an older black cop that, like, sees the boy and goes up to the boy. He's like, he's got the eyes, don't he? Like scat, like fucking whatever the
Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, but his character in The Shining. So I saw it and I thought, okay, this is obviously like some sort of like somebody like The Shining and made the movie, but the movie's based on a book, and the book came out in 1958.
Oh,
so the Stephen King book borrowed from this book,
the whole black guy trope.
Shining, The Shining came out as a movie first, but this movie is based on source material that Stephen King stole from.
I just kept playing it over and over again, like Jack Nicholson in whatever that movie is where he chops that guy, Scatman Crothers, with an axe. The hell's that movie called? Red Rum? The Shining. I just sat there with that look on my face. Lounge singers. Actually, lounge singers don't travel. They're just stuck at that same place, you know? Like Jack Nicholson in the movie The Shining, just slowly going crazy. Playing handball off the wall of their Red Roof Inn suite.
I'm staying in one of these Red Rum, just one of those, you know. I like old shit to a point. Old hotels, I love the lobbies, but the second you go up to your room, you start walking down the hall, you know, you feel like you should be riding a big wheel, and you're going to come around the corner, and those two creepy chicks are going to be standing there. God damn it, that movie freaked me out. That movie's it's still disturbing. That's just a disturbing movie, you know, and it's not the fact that he goes completely insane. It's just, as a comedian, watching a man suffering through writer's block like that, and having that woman coming up whose face is shaped like a parking meter, asking you how it's going every 20 minutes. I love how they blame the hotel rather than that, you know, what I would say, she means well, you know. They just were a bad couple. I think that's what it was. And when they were down in society, they could go to events and they could sort of water down their awful relationship by interacting with others. And then once they just got, you know, once they were just staying there at the hotel, you know, for the whole goddamn winter.
You should have seen that building. I mean, it was just incredible. I wanted to take a tour of that. It had this really cool, like, old school just look about it, / almost reminded me of the hotel that was in The Shining, which, by the way, is a gorgeous hotel. It's just that Jack Nicholson goes in there and loses his mind. If you can just get past the movie, it's a beautiful hotel, and this seemed to be like the same era of architecture, and I really, really thought it was gorgeous. Oh, my God, I just talked about Jack Nicholson in The Shining. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. He's just sitting there typing that over and over and over again.
That's probably the most frightening he ever was.
Oh, the shot. Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah. And there's something about what's the woman who, and I just spaced.
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall is like, you feel for her, and she's also annoying. Yeah, like just get in the hatchback and just let Jack go crazy, because it just, you know what it is? I think when I watch it, I kind of, in her, I see myself sometimes when I'm just playing the victim and being helpless. There's just something about it where you have a bat. He's a writer. How tough can he be? Just hit him in the head. It's not like he's a plumber going nuts. He writes shit.
Right.
Sitting at a typewriter. Good Lord.
He's got carpal tunnel. He can't even. How does he even swing his axe?
How does he hold the handle?
And we met out near like Red Rocks, and we rode around in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado for like 4 hours, maybe 3. I don't know. It was like we rode for an hour and a half, and we got lunch at the hotel where they shot The Shining. So it was amazing. And that was amazing alone, just to see it. You're like, oh my God. And in the front, they have like, you know, they more have like these little standing, look like little like shrub Christmas trees. Like they don't have the maze there, but they kind of have a little one just for like tourists. If people remember, I mean, the movie's almost 50 years old. And then of course you go in and it's different because they built like a set and everything. But the front, you know, is where they shot it, you know, Scatman Crothers coming up in that little snowplow thing and all of that stuff. And it was amazing.
I don't understand why they had to be there to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to be doing up there? I mean, the level with which that it's going to snow, no asshole is going to go up there and vandalize the place. If they come there, it's because they need shelter. There was really no reason for it. You know? Oh, yeah, I got to write a book. Yeah, why don't I go up there? Yeah, I'll hang out there, and I'll do my own room service every day. I'll stay in room 706, and every day I'll take an elevator all the way downstairs to the kitchen. Who would sign up for that? Really didn't have any sympathy for him. You know, I think it's a great movie. I'm just in a grumpy goddamn mood because today I got to drive from Ottawa all the way up to Sudbury.
Oh my God, I just talked about Jack Nicholson in The Shining. all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. He's just sitting there